What could you accomplish if you didn't keep getting in your own way? If you're honest with yourself, which I think you have to be if you want to get anywhere in your life, you are in control of your own destiny. Yes, it's tempting and sometimes easy to push it off and say, I'm a victim of my circumstances. But really, you know that taking that stance is a surefire route to anxiety, overwhelm, depression, and just feelings of not goodness. So taking control and taking ownership is the first step in allowing you to get out of your own way. And once you admit that you are the owner of your own destiny and that the only thing that can stop you is you, well, that means the last step to get anything you want in life is to eliminate your self-sabotage. And today, I'm going to teach you how to do exactly that in 30 days or less. Welcome to Change Made Easy. Changing your habits, routines, and behaviors is hard. We make it easy. I'm Paul Leviton. I help high achievers just like you who feel stuck bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Traditional self-help doesn't work. It's either too rigid, too generic, or too overwhelming. My approach is different. I simplify change by making it so easy it can't not happen. Using my easier framework, I'll help you create habits, routines, and behaviors that stick for good, so you can stop struggling and start thriving. It's that easy. If you're on board with me and agreeing that you are the master of your own destiny, I am the master of my own destiny. No one can make me succeed but me, and no one can make me fail but me. Hopefully, you feel the same way about yourself. It can be scary at first to take on this mindset because it gives you nowhere to hide. It's much easier to say, it's not my fault. It's the way I was born. It's my parents. It's the government. It's the economy. It's my boss. All of these other things. And all of that very well may be true. Everyone is born into different circumstances. Some people are born with a leg up and literal privilege. Some people have a great boss who gives them opportunities, and some people are stuck at a dead-end job. The economy does things, the government does things, and you know that you can't control that. So the best place to focus your finite time and energy is back towards you. What are the things that you can control? And if you focus on only that, on what you can control, that means that your success or your failures are squarely up to you. And we come there as a starting point because that is the first step to be able to eliminate self-sabotage. And I'm going to lay out the step-by-step framework that you need to go through to eliminate self-sabotage from your life in 30 days or less right here today. And I should know, I've coached hundreds of people to eliminate their self-sabotage and become their happiest, healthiest versions of themselves. And I took the tools and techniques that I've used over 15 years to help all of my clients and combined it into a course that I called Quit Quitting. The concept being, if you can quit quitting on yourself, you will eventually reach any goal that you want. You and I have spoken ad nauseum about the fact that consistency is key. You will get the result if you keep going, whether it's diet, exercise, finance, relationships. If you keep playing the game, eventually you will win. So my goal as a coach and with this podcast is simply to get you not to quit. And now, if you agree with me, which I hope you do, that you are the only one who can make you quit, you are the only one in charge of that, then anytime you quit, we can say is self-sabotage because you're quitting on a goal that would make you better, feel better, live better. And if we can eliminate that urge to quit, if we can eliminate that self-sabotage, then the only possible outcome is your success. So that's where we start today. Hey, real quick, we'll be back to the show in just a few seconds, but right now I have to ask you for a huge favor. If you're getting value out of this episode so far, take 2 seconds and share it with a friend. I mean, right now, literally. Hit the little share button and send it in a text to your roommate or your cousin or your mom or your brother or your sister. Seriously, spread the love. If you like what you're hearing, then that's the best way that you can show support for this show. Because maybe you're like Eliza Kay who said, this podcast is both warm and inviting, but real enough to push and motivate me. Or you're like Dalton who said, Paul is an amazing host and his podcast is a must listen. Don't you want to share this awesomeness with your friends and family? Don't be a gatekeeper. It only takes a second. It helps me grow and reach a new audience, and you seem like a genius friend who recommends new, awesome podcasts. We all win. All right, go send that text, and now let's get back to the show. And as I said, I had combined all of this into a 16-week course that I called Quit Quitting that I taught for years with great success with many people. But I want to make it even easier. You know, that's why we're here. To do that, I'm going to condense that course into 3 simple steps. In that course, I taught an acronym called SLUMP, SLUMP. First, the S in SLUMP stood for shoulds and supposed tos. This is the first thing that's going to lead you to self-sabotage, shoulding all over yourself. So every time you think it should be like this or it's supposed to be like that, that is a step towards self-sabotage. Because anytime you are saying the way something should be or it's supposed to be, what you are saying is that you have an expectation around the way you want something to be, but that thing decidedly is not. So if I'm saying I should be 200 pounds, but I'm 250 pounds, what I'm saying is reality does not align with what I expect. I want it to be like this and it's like that. I should be richer. My business was supposed to have taken off by now. Anytime I say that, inherently I'm saying it isn't like that. Anytime you say it should be, it's supposed to be, I expect it to be, you're saying it's not. And that brings up a discrepancy. And to your brain, this discrepancy is a reason to quit. Because if it's supposed to be like that and it isn't, then that's not fair. And your brain doesn't like to waste time and energy on things that aren't fair. Your brain always is looking for ways to conserve energy. So if you're saying, I've been doing this workout for 6 weeks already and I should have lost this much weight, your brain goes, well, if you should have and you didn't, then why keep doing it? If you're saying, I invested all of this money into this stock portfolio and it was supposed to go up by this much by now, then your brain goes, well, if it was supposed to and it didn't, then why keep going? Pull all your money out now, even if it's at a huge loss. If you're saying, I expected my relationship to be easier than this, then your brain goes, well, why would I continue to put my energy into something that isn't meeting my expectations? And it wants to quit. Anytime you use what I call expectational language, shoulds and supposed tos, you're inherently setting up a discrepancy in your mind. So the first week in your 30-day challenge is eliminating the shoulds and supposed tos. Catch yourself anytime you say, write, even think that something should or is supposed to be. And when you do that, you have to check yourself and rewrite that narrative. It shouldn't be, because it isn't. The only thing that should be is what is. There is only one way, the way things are. There is no the way things should be. If you want something to be different than it is, that's fine. You can work towards it and you can change it, but without the expectation of the way that it should be. I'm 250 pounds. I'm going to work to lose weight. When I'm 230 pounds, I'll be 230 pounds. When I'm 200 pounds, I'll be 200 pounds. It takes off the expectation and it takes off the time limit. It makes us less attached to the outcome and makes us more realistic to the way things are right now. And when you think of and phrase things that way, it doesn't give your brain that ammunition that it's seeking to quit to save energy, because there's nothing wrong with what you're doing. Where you are right now is in alignment with what you are doing, as opposed to when you're shoulding, where you are right now is in direct conflict with what you're saying, quote unquote, should happen. For those of you watching on video, you'll know anytime I say should, I do air quotes. In my own personal life, I've eliminated that word. If I catch myself saying it, I'll always go back and correct myself, because nothing should be. There only is what is. So week 1 is eliminating the shoulds and supposed tos, eliminating expectation language. Week 2 in your 30-day challenge. As I said, I used an acronym SLUMP, S-L-U-M-P, but I've condensed the middle section that used to be L, U, and M into simply uncertainty and clarity. And what this comes down to is you have to search for clarity, but be okay with uncertainty. So clarity means, do you know what you're doing, how you're doing it, and why you're doing it? Your brain is always looking for reasons to save energy. So if you don't understand why you're doing something or how what you're doing is going to lead to a desired result, or you're lacking clarity in any way around the why behind what you're doing, it's going to give your brain ammunition to say, screw this, I quit, which is self-sabotage. So you have to have clarity. How do I get to A to B? Why is getting from A to B important? How do I get from A to B to C to D all the way to Z? And why is each of those steps important? Do I need to go from A to B to get to Z, or can I skip directly from A to Z? If I need A to B to C to D, why is each of those steps important? I need clarity around all of that. And then the second piece of this is, although I need that clarity, I have to be okay with uncertainty. As I said when talking about week 1 and expectation language and removing the shoulds, we have to be okay with different timelines. You have to be okay with uncertainty in terms of being okay with not knowing exactly how things will play out. You have to have a general sense of clarity around a big goal, why you're doing it, what you're working towards. But you have to be okay with the uncertainty that we don't get to decide directly how that looks. So what does that mean in practice? I want to get fit. That's a big goal. I need to know what my workouts are going to be, why I'm doing the specific workouts. Why does it matter that I do a full body workout 3 times a week instead of chest one day, shoulders one day, back one day? These are important things to give me clarity so I can feel good about moving forward with my plan. But I have to be okay with the uncertainty that I don't know exactly when the results are going to come. I can't say with 100% certainty, if I stick to this plan, this is how I'm going to look 30 days from now. I can't say with 100% certainty, if I stick to this plan for 6 months, I know exactly what I'll weigh. You don't get to decide the exact results. You have an idea about a general direction. I'm trying to get more fit. I'm trying to get more healthy. And that will be the end result. But I have to be okay with the uncertainty that comes along with it. So week 1, we were getting rid of the shoulds and the supposed tos, checking our language, checking our thoughts. Week 2, we continue to build on that. We start to create a specific plan with clarity, understanding not only the what, but the why, but also accepting that even the best laid plans don't mean that I'm going to 100% get the outcome 100% of the time. Because if you're too stuck on the outcome, that is, again, just an expectation. It's a should. So you have to detach from that expectation, be okay with the uncertainty that even the most dialed in plan has. If having a plan led to the exact same success every time, then everyone would just read Jeff Bezos's book or Steve Jobs' book and do what they did and create a $1 billion business. Everyone would just read Arnold's book on bodybuilding and have the best body. You understand that it doesn't work that way. You can follow the exact steps laid out by someone, but you won't always get those exact same results. And you have to be okay with that, because if you're not, your brain goes back to the fairness thing. This isn't fair. I was supposed to get these results. I expected it to be like this. They said it was going to be like this. My plan said it was going to be like this. And that gives you ammunition to quit. So week 1, we're dealing with the shoulds and supposed tos, expectation language. Week 2, you're creating clarity. You're understanding how and why you're getting to your destination. Also, building on week 1, releasing the expectation, learning to live with the uncertainty so you don't talk yourself out of doing a thing that is working. When you have the clarity, you have the action steps, you start to take action. The only way that you can fail now is when you talk yourself out of it. When I coach people on their diet, I tell them all the time, every diet works if you stick to it. Every person has an experience. Well, I did this diet for 6 weeks and then I gained it all back. It's like, well, what happened? You stopped doing the diet. Well, I used to work out, but then I lost it all. It's like, well, you stopped working out. It's not that the thing stops working. It's that you stop doing the thing because you get in your own head about the way it should be, the way it was supposed to be, the way you expected it to be. So we have week 1, we have week 2, and week 3 is now perfectionism. That's the P in the SLUMP acronym. Perfectionism comes by many different names. You might say you're not a perfectionist, but it could be all or nothing thinking, black or white thinking, this or that. You're all in or you're all out. You're the type of person who's either working out 5 days a week, but then you miss one day and you say, oh, well, I can't work out this week, even though you could have worked out 3 or 4. You're the type of person who says, I really want to start my business, but I got to figure out how to build a website. I got to figure out how to make a newsletter. I got to figure out how to do all this stuff. I got to have the perfect plan first. Perfectionism is the last piece of the puzzle, and it's so insidious because it feels like you're being productive. I am working towards my goal. I just have to get it right first. I am working towards this business by reading more, by educating myself more, by talking to more people. But if the point of business is to make sales and make money, then all of the reading, all of the podcasts, all of the whatever else doesn't do it. You have to actually do the thing. You have to act. You have to get the job done. So being stuck in perfectionism inherently is self-sabotage, even though it feels like, and you can tell yourself that it's actually you working hard towards your goal. Similar with all or nothing or black or white thinking, where you say, well, I need to work out 5 days a week to get to my goal. So then you plan to work out 5 days a week, but then you can only work out 2 days a week and you go, well, screw it because I can't work out 5 anyway. But the obvious logical fallacy that you probably hear is that working out 2 days a week is better than working out no days a week. And by holding yourself to a standard of wanting to work out 5 days a week, you actually self-sabotage and keep yourself stuck for longer. Same thing with diet. The classic example of this is the joke where people will say, so-and-so went to McDonald's and they got a Big Mac and a large fries and a milkshake. Oh, and then they ordered a Diet Coke. Like that makes a difference. But it's like, yeah, it does make a difference. A Coca-Cola from McDonald's is 400 calories. So a Diet Coke is 400 less calories. Is it perfect? No, but it's slightly better. And that's what you need to be focusing on. By holding yourself to these extreme standards of wanting it to be all good all the time, all perfect, it stops you from actually doing the thing that moves the needle, which is taking action. Small actions layered over time is what creates results. That's what we're about here. Change made easy. You have to make this so easy it can't not happen. And that doesn't happen by making everything perfect, figuring out every specific detail before you ever take action. Remember, step 2 is around creating clarity. How do you get from A to B, B to C, C to D? But that doesn't mean you have to have it all figured out before you start to act. You might have to get all the way from A to Z. But as long as you know how to get from A to B, you can do that and then figure out how to get to B to C and then C to D. The more clarity you have, it will make it theoretically easier over time, but don't let that be the reason that you don't get started. Don't let trying to make it perfect be the reason it doesn't get done at all. Or put differently, something I say to my clients often is, don't optimize your way out of doing the thing at all. So many people want to make it the most optimal, the best. Is this good? Is this right? Is this perfect? And then they make it so optimal that they don't do the thing. That is the definition of self-sabotage. So week 1, you're looking at expectation language. You're eliminating the shoulds, the supposed tos, that type of talk from your head and from your life. Week 2, you're creating clarity around what you're actually doing and why, but you're also getting comfortable with the uncertainty that comes along with it and starting to grapple with the fact that you can have a plan, but the best laid plans don't always lead directly to the result that you want 100% of the time, and that's okay. That doesn't mean that you're on the wrong plan or that you need to change anything. And then week 3, you're eliminating your perfectionist tendencies, black or white thinking, all or nothing thinking. Are you keeping yourself stuck in the pursuit of doing the thing right, and that's stopping you from doing the thing at all? And then week 4, you're simply putting them all together. You're watching yourself for your shoulds and supposed tos. You're following your plan that you created in week 2 while dealing with the uncertainty that it might not come to fruition exactly like you liked. And you're remaining vigilant about perfectionist, black and white, all or nothing tendencies. If you can do that, if you can maintain this challenge for the full 30 days, you will have eliminated self-sabotage in just about all areas of your life. And if you do find yourself coming up against self-sabotaging tendencies, simply run them through this paradigm again, and you'll see that it's one of these 3 roadblocks that's stopping you 99 out of 100 times. And then all you have to do is go back and work on that single tactic around the goal that you're struggling with, and you'll see yourself start to make forward progress again. That is self-sabotage eliminated, and that is change made easy. And if you want to learn more about this, go to the show notes right now and click Why is Change So Hard? I've linked to another episode that builds directly on this one, so you can keep learning about eliminating self-sabotage and creating your best life. Before you go, I just have to ask you for a huge favor. If you enjoyed or got value from this episode at all, then take a moment and leave a rating and review in the podcast app that you're listening or watching on. If you like the show and you want me to continue to create more episodes and be able to get awesome guests that will help make changing your life easier, then this is the best way you can show support. You can leave a 5-star review on iTunes like Eliza K, who said, "This podcast is both warm and inviting, but real enough to push and motivate me." Thank you, Eliza. Or you can be like Dalton, who said, "Paul is an amazing host and his podcast is a must listen." Thank you, Dalton. And thank you to all of the over 100 people who have taken the time to rate and review this show 5 stars on iTunes, or the dozens who have left 5-star reviews on Spotify. It only takes a minute, And it helps me grow, it helps me reach a new audience, and it lets me know that this is helping someone, which just feels good. All you have to do is go to the show page of whatever app you're listening to and hit the little 5 stars. Or go to the comments section on YouTube and boom, that's it. And if you really want to show love, take a screenshot when you do it and tag me in your stories on social media at Change Made Easy, and I'll shout you out in an upcoming episode. All right, go leave that rating, and I'll see you back here every Tuesday and Thursday with new episodes of Change Made Easy.